Hello and welcome, you are watching Western Armenian News and I'm Gasparian. Abandoned Cilicia when France betrayed its Armenian allies, 1990 to 1921. Armenak Abrahamyan. Finland and the Minsk group's legacy, a test of European diplomacy in the Caucasus Armenak Abrahamyan. Charles Aznavour's sister Aida Aznavour-Karvarents passes away at 102. We lost 20% of our wheat supply due to Azerbaijan's occupation of Artsakh. Now they are trying to beg for help from abroad. Artur Khachatryan. Let's support the Armenians of Lebanon. Film about Nelson Stepanyan wins at Moscow International Film Festival. Armenian Lavash and Turkish Simit among the 50 best breeds in the world. Stepanakert, Russian drama theater opens its new season. In 1919, after World War I, Armenians who survived the genocide began to hope again. In the southern Armenian highlands region of Cilicia, under French rule, French troops helped free the land. The French promised protection and the chance for Armenians to rebuild. On August 4, 1920, Cilicia declared its independence and many refugees returned from Syria and Lebanon, trusting France's promise. However, things changed. A Turkish nationalist movement rose in Ankara. France, under pressure and cost, signed the Angora Agreement on October 20, 1921, withdrawing its army and, in effect, leaving Armenians defenseless. The promises of the London and San Remo conferences and the Treaty of Sevres were ignored. Cilicia's Armenian presence was erased, villages burned, people killed or forced to flee to Syria and Lebanon. This story is nearly forgotten in France. True, it raises a moral question. What happens when a state promises to defend people but abandons them? Today, Armenians call on France to recognize this truth over symbolic and material repair and show responsibility for its past. The Minsk group was created in 1992 under the OSCE to help resolve the Artsakh conflict. Co-chaired by Russia, the USA and France, it stopped working in practice after the 2020 war, even it still exists legally. Azerbaijan calls it outdated, while Moscow and Washington give it little priority. The National Council of the Republic of Western Armenia asked Finland's foreign minister, now OSCE chair, to keep the Minsk group active and support the right of displaced Artsakh Armenians to return. This call is based on international law, the UN Charter, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Conventions. Recent ICJ decisions bind Azerbaijan to protect Artsakh Armenians, their movement and cultural heritage. For Finland, this issue is special. In 1917, Russia recognized both Finland's independence and the Western Armenian people's right to self-determination. Now Finland must choose: keep this international platform or let it disappear. Its decision will test Europe's will to stand for law over force. The Aznavour family announced with deep sadness the passing of Aida Aznavour-Karvarents, sister of Charles Aznavour, at age 102. Born in Thessaloniki in 1923, during exile she shared Armenian roots and Parisian upbringing with Charles. Their bond was built on shared history, music and love for people. Charles called her one of the anchors of his life. Aida lived through a century of change, art and resistance, always faithful to kindness, humility, and faith in humanity. The family said, "Our hearts are sad but full of gratitude for the years with Aida. Her love and warmth will always stay with us." She will be buried in the family cemetery in Montfort-l'Amaury next to her husband and family members. During a parliament session, MP Artur Khachatryan criticized the government, saying that Armenia lost about 20% of its wheat supply after Azerbaijan's occupation of Artsakh. He said authorities now beg for help from abroad, while half the country's farmland remains unused. He called it shameful to call this an opening of trade because Azerbaijan hasn't even opened one road through its territory. Deputy Speaker Ruben Rubinyan replied that important wheat will cost less than from Ukraine and added, "It's not bad if we get new transport lines, even if not all at once." Lebanese economic and social crisis is getting worse. Thousands of people have huge problems. Many cannot buy bread and live under harsh conditions. In the past, Lebanese Armenians helped Syrian Armenians during the war and supported Armenia and Artsakh. Now it's our turn to help them. Let's support the Armenians of Lebanon by using what we know from past experience. Our central organizations know where help is most needed. Let our aid become a light for the Lebanese Armenian community so they can survive and keep their national spirit alive. The animated short film Falling into the Sky, produced by Channel 5, tells the story of legendary World War II pilot Nelson Stepanyan. It has won an award at the Moscow International Film Festival. The film celebrates his heroism, courage, and final mission. CNN International published its list of the world's 50 best breads. In this list, you will find Armenian Lavash and Turkish Simit. Also included are Afghan baloni, French baguette, Italian ciabatta. The article says bread is not just food, but a symbol of culture, history, and identity. Each bread tells a story of its people's life and tradition. The Russian drama theater of Stepanakert has announced free acting classes for the new season, led by Karen Nersisyan, associate professor at the Russian State Institute of Performing Arts. Participants will train in improvisation, plays, and scripts, a great first step toward an acting career. The new season's premiere will be in January 2026 with a performance in Chekhov style based on Anton Chekhov's The Beer and the Proposal, directed by Armen Markaryan. The theater runs with support from the Armenian-Russian Cultural Association. That's all for today's news from Western Armenia. For more details, please visit the website of Western Armenia. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates.